Good morning, good morning. Good news on the... I've got my jacket on, it's cold. Good morning. Good news on the Ebola front. They seem to be on top of things really, really well now. First story today, MSF, Médecins Sans Frontières, or Doctors Without Borders, they are reporting that Ebola patients are down a whole lot, but they are still very, very particular about following up every last lost contact. When Ebola started in Guinea. Prior to that, Ebola was in small, isolated communities, so it came up, it killed people, they all stayed there, it died. But where Ebola flared up last time was at a crossroads between the three countries, so there were people moving, traveling. Therefore, it spread very easily. So it's all about following up contacts. Someone has Ebola, who have they been talking to? Who are their contacts? They have to find out who those people are and track them down and make sure they're okay and not spreading it further. Easier said than done. At the beginning there was no trust. People thought that the people MSF wanted to find were in trouble and would be punished, so they wouldn't tell. And there was a lot of trust building going on. MSF really, the Ebola people really have the trust of the locals now, because the locals know they mean well. So yeah, there's a lot better interaction there. Quarantining, a little bit about quarantining. Initially, quarantining was seen as being locked up in your place, left to die, but it's been seen as a lot better now, where they've been in quarantine, they've been given supplies and food and medicine and stuff. So now people even have got to the point of self-quarantining. They quarantine themselves, and locals are very strict on other people because they know what they have to do. The MSF do say though that it's our fault, the international community. We reacted too slowly. We should have reacted a lot quicker. Done. Number 2, Liberia. In the last week of January, there were only 5 new cases of Ebola reported. Woohoo! This is very different to last August. In last August in Liberia, no one was touching, no one was caring for each other. In Liberia, it's a community where people are very close, and there was none of that because everybody was scared. So it was really, as the article says, it was destroying the social fabric of Liberia. People weren't acting as their culture dictated they should act. The guy who wrote the article went back last week. He said it was all different. People embracing at weddings, playing soccer, posing for photos, going to church, going to school. So it's very much getting back to normal now. MSF and the Ebola team are still building the trust. They've got the trust of the locals enough now. At the height of it, bodies were cremated because people weren't burying them safely, so the bodies were taken and cremated. That the locals didn't like because it's against their culture, cremation. Their thing is burial. So now the Ebola teams, they conduct safe burials. So there's more love from the locals. And now it's getting to the point, there's more clinics, there's less sick people, so maybe it's reached a tipping point now, but still complacency is the problem. You have to keep that up. As MSF said, you have to track down every lost contact. Finally, Nancy Sullivan, she's been working for 16 years on a vaccine for Ebola. Last week, Liberia started their first large-scale testing. 9,000 people have been killed by Ebola in the 3 countries. New infections have dropped, but they inched up again last week, so it's still there. When she started on the vaccine, the Ebola was popping up, disappear, pop up, disappear, pop up, disappear. We all I don't know if you remember. I'm an old man. Maybe you're not. I remember back in the 80s, Ebola showing up and then it disappeared. It came, killed some people, disappeared. But now they've almost got a vaccine. Good stuff. See you later.